Hey, and welcome back. If you think your town's bad, just wait till you see the ruined city. That's where we're going today, now that we're equipped with all of our useless glyph magic. But we've got it all, and it's going to make combat just a little bit easier. We've also picked up plenty of health and Eldritch Energy upgrades, so we're about as equipped as we can be for this point in the game. There's a few more pickups that we've got to go get, but we need one more ability to do that. As always, we have to abide by the rules of our original coin toss, which landed on Raziel, which means that we befriended the poor, sweet, helpless humans, and we're not going to kill them outright when we meet them. Instead, we're going to take vengeance upon vampires whenever we meet them, and whenever it's convenient. Starting in the Abyss as usual, let's see where the Elder God thinks we should go. We know, but whatever.
Past, your brother Dumah retreated with his clan into Nosgoth's northern wilderness. Empowered by the gift of Rahab's soul, seek out his mountain stronghold. But tread carefully. These frozen wastes have mysteries yet to disclose.
Dun dun dun. Alright. Let's head towards our warp gate. Okay. Go to the Lake of the Dead. And out the door. All right. So we're going to first take care of this fella. Figured I'd make it quick. We bullied him enough. Now the good old Lake of the Dead. The Bridge of Sacrifice. Okay. So last time we went up that way. Now I'm going to swim up here. That's L2 and X for a high jump out of the water. And we are on our way to the ruined city. Should be good on Eldritch Energy. Nice, there's good big pickup there though. All right, bath time. Don't make me haul you all the way over here. But yeah, as you can see from the health meter there, all these upgrades have really made a difference for us. And here we go. No need to announce ourselves. We'll just jump right into it. Please, please, don't trouble yourself. I know my way around. Okay, and here's our warp gate for the ruined city. Okay, so in the ruined city, we're gonna have a health power up, and that's it. We do have some stuff to get back at the Drowned Abbey. And then in the Razielim clan territory too. Oh. But we'll go pick all that stuff up after we get our last ability here. And we'll just glide on over.
This city once teemed with the life of my kind. Could it be that other clans had suffered the same fate as mine? In his madness, could Kain spare none of his brood?
It was not Kain, but Dumah's own arrogance that brought the downfall of his clan. These are human weapons, Raziel. Believing themselves invincible, Dumah and his offspring failed to see an attack coming from the least likely assailants. Complacent in their arrogance, they were taken by surprise, allowing the human vampire hunters to decimate their ranks with little resistance. The few that escaped have been reduced to scavengers.
Okay, so much to talk about here. So, this is basically the plot of the canceled Nosgoth game. What is the human uprising against the vampire clans? I believe that if Nosgoth had been able to launch and had been successful, we would have seen this happen. I think we would have seen the humans storm Dumah's stronghold, and then, well, do what what we will eventually see was done to Dumah. However, there is so much more to talk about as we go into the ruined city. So I'm just going to try to stay coherent as we go and talk about the lore, the official lore of the game, of course, and then the less official, but still pretty close to canon lore of Nosgoth. Yeah, I don't know why these guys even try. Now, as we go through the ruined city, of course, we're not going to find a whole lot in the way of material resistance. I guess I should say vampire resistance. But we are going to find plenty of spectral resistance. Alright, so we have this courtyard here. You might be tempted to do some exploring before you try to get into this. I would say try to go a more direct route, because if you solve some of the puzzles in the ruined city before you do one of the steps here, it's going to make the boss fight really frustrating. Ask me how I know. Alright, so we see that block over there. And there was a block that we could pull that we saw by that vampire wraith we fought, but here's a grate, so we can't get back there in the material realm. So I wonder if there's a way over. Yeah, see, check that out. So there might be a way back over that grate. So seeing this block here, we'll just push that. Oh. Alright, well, looks like we get to actually pick up some of these eldritch energies that we come across. Alright, fight me. Yeah, sorry, dude, you're not the biggest monster around here. You're not the biggest soul-devouring monster around here. Yep, okay, so that takes us up here. And there is more to do over here, but we got things to do first. Because there's another block there that we can't quite get to yet. Stick. We'll pull this guy out. Barely made that. Okay. So now we're in this big vent looking thing. And got a vampire down in the pool here. Got a couple of them. Well, let's see what happens when we hit the switch here. Oh, good morning. I know this is exactly how you wanted to wake up. Be free! Yeah. Our good old 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 punch. Now we can solve this puzzle in peace. Alright, so we have to get all the way up there, which means we have a lot of blocks to move. Okay, so while we're moving blocks, this is a great time to talk about lore. Alright, so we know what happens to Raziel in the beginning of Soul Reaver 1. Kain orders his execution. Tyrell and Dumah drag him to the Lake of the Dead and toss him into the abyss. We all know we know that. After that, Malchiah intimates that Kain himself ordered the execution of the rest of Raziel's clan. Now, this is not strictly true. Kain disappears after Raziel's execution. He's just gone. And Tyrell and Dumah begin to war with each other over who, Tyrell, being the second brother, believes that he is the rightful heir. And of course, Dumah, feels that he is the rightful heir as well. The younger siblings, Rahab, Zephon, and Malchiah, well, they don't really have a leg to stand on here, as it were. But along with Kain disappearing, as I mentioned in the last episode, his prohibition against the clans openly warring is gone too. And so, as well as Tyrell and Dumah leading the rest of the clans in an opportunistic offensive against Raziel's clan, they begin to war with each other as well. Now, the story of Raziel's clan, and again, this comes from Tales of Nosgoth, which just fascinating reads on there. Highly, highly recommend it. I'll link to it here in the video. So, I mentioned in an earlier video that the survivors of the initial assault on the Razielim fared far worse, and the ones that were killed in that initial purge probably were the lucky ones. Well, according to the Nosgoth lore, which again is not strictly canon, according to the Nosgoth lore, after Raziel evolved and was executed for evolving ahead of Kain, or at least that's what everyone thought, is why he was executed. Let's see, how's this gonna work? Nope, not well. Okay. After this, many members of his clan had knew that they were doomed, and so many of them forced their own evolutions as well. Now, when a vampire evolved, again, according to the Nosgoth lore, when a vampire evolves, they pupate and they go into a cocoon. Now, inside that cocoon, they starve. You know, they require a massive amount of blood. They require a massive amount of nutrients when they emerge. The Razielim clan elders, when the city was assaulted, flew in haste, surprising many of the attackers, flew in haste to the underground vault where the rest of the pupating Razielim were being held. Now, many of these elders were ambushed on the way to this vault, and so the keys to this vault were lost. Now, knowing that a recently pupated vampire requires a lot of blood, many starved. They awoke and were trapped in this vault because no keys were to be found for decades. And over the process of this starvation, they became malformed. They became absolutely horrific to look upon, and ended up falling upon each other for sustenance and tools to try to scrape their way out of this vault. Decades later, they managed to get out of this vault after a great many of them died. And this vault was in the mountains east of Courhagen. Now, they escaped expecting to still find the blood pens that the vampires had kept for centuries by that point, because they had kept humans as cattle, basically. However, they were nowhere to be found, and they found that the humans had overrun the area and liberated it. Now, after that, the newly winged, horrific-looking Razielim flew back to their clan territory, which was still occupied by Dumah and the Dumahim. So, being weak, being completely blood-starved, they had absolutely no defense and were surrounded. And their sergeant Eskandor, after being manipulated and lied to by Dumah, of course, he swore fealty for himself and that of the Razielim in exchange for blood. And they became soldiers of the Dumahim and fought with the other now united vampire clans against the Human Rebellion, which is, of course, the story of the Nosgoth game. So yeah, terrible fate that the Razielim endured. And then, after that, the only joy they found was in battle. And making block puzzles, apparently, which is probably more sadistic than killing humans in battle. Anyway, again, this is not necessarily canon, but canon is getting to be a more slippery term in Legacy of Kain fandom these days. So, anyway, that is the fate of the Razielim. I think someday again, read the whole article on Tales of Nosgoth. It's fascinating. And now this room. Okay, I feel like a lot of you found the channel because I made an offhand joke about another part of the game that ended up, that I put here. And, this is a great furnace, which is let's go see what this does. And Raziel is completely unfazed. All right, and that opens up this door here. Okay, so this is definitely worth a conversation. So I joked about what are these machines for? Again, not for this. It was for something else. But the answer to this is actually in the Soul Reaver 1 manual, and I'm going to go get that. Just sit tight one second. All right, here's my PS1 copy of the original Soul Reaver. One of my prized possessions. Got it on launch day. But the answer to this is in the manual here. Because I'm getting old, I need my glasses for it. After the taming of the humans, our real work began, shaping Nosgoth to our will. Around the pillars, slaves constructed a shrine worthy of our new age, worthy of our dark renaissance. Huge furnaces were built to belch smoke into the sky, shielding the land from the poisonous effects of the sun. Never had the world known a time of such beauty. So yeah, just a snippet of some really great concentrated lore in the original Soul Reaver manual. So I might do a video someday that has that whole thing, along with some footage to go with it. I don't know. If you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments. All right, back to the ruined city. So the idea of that giant furnace was that is one of the furnaces that belched smoke into the sky to obscure the sun so that the vampires could have their civilization out in the open instead of underground. Now, in these underground chambers that they lived in before they built these furnaces, of course, that's where they pupated, that's where they were safe, that's where they hid from the humans. But, as I mentioned before, that's also where the Razielim retreated to after their clan territory was attacked. And then, of course, that's where they were locked in and starved. Okay, so we got past this part. Now we are on to the rest. I do have to say, the ruined city's urban planners might have been just a little mad. Just a little. Now here's an interesting thing. I love the little splashes of color that we see in the Spectral Realm. And I've always been a little curious if they meant anything. I don't really think they do. But it's still pretty cool that they're there. It's a nice little bit of color contrast. Yeah, if you want to get me started on color theory, that's a totally different subject. So I love the music in the entire. I love the music in all of the series, right? Even Blood Omen 2. I do love the music in Blood Omen 2. But I've got a really special place, a really special place in my heart for the music for Soul Reaver 1, and to a lesser extent Soul Reaver 2, but mostly Soul Reaver 1. I want to show you something else. One second. Ta-da! I'm back. So this is Information Society's album, Don't Be Afraid. And this is, of course, Kurt Harland, who composed the music for Soul Reaver along with Jim Hedges. Now, Ozar Midrashim off of Don't Be Afraid here is Raziel's theme. And I've mentioned before that that is like the most badass theme music I can think of for a character. But Kurt Harland also did the rest of the music, both the spectral and material realms. And it's just so much thought has gone into each variation, because there's you have your material realm and your spectral realm, but you also have variations for combat, you have variations for puzzle solving, you have variations for suspicious enemies. Just a massive amount of work that's gone into it, and it's just something I appreciate every time I play. Okay, this here is an area that is very interesting. We have a statue of Dumah here. We can't do anything. Obviously, in the spectral realm, we can't do anything, but we can't do anything in the material realm yet. But we'll get there. What are you doing back? I thought I ate you. Get in my belly and stay there. Okay. I will say, of all the areas in the original Soul Reaver, the Ruined City is probably the one that takes the most trial and error, almost, I'd say. This is why I advise you to go a certain way first. I try not to do that necessarily, because exploration is, of course, one of the most just joyful parts of this game. But it can be a little as with a lot of older games, it can be a little difficult to know where to go without a lot of backtracking and a lot of that trial and error, like we said. So we've scouted ahead a little bit and we see what's up there. Okay.
He keeps falling off the rock.
See, I told you there'd be some platform fails. Okay, now we're going to check out this really odd vertical chamber here, because this is probably going to hold our way forward. There we go. Kind of. Oh. All right. I'm going to blame that on stick drift. Because, I don't want to just keep randomly popping my most expensive spell. Okay. There we go. There's the drawbridge. Again, super happy there's no fall damage. Lots of dead Dumah him here. And we have this obelisk behind a gate. And then this gate here. Well, got a little puzzle, and the solution is probably going to be up here. So let's go look. Again, as if I don't know. Oh, look at that, survivors. They were survivors. Oh, and there's a bit of environmental storytelling I never really noticed. Looks like they were feeding on this guy here. Oh, man. Okay. I always hate giving up the fire Reaver. Do a little bit of spectral leapfrogging here. And then, well, if solution 1 is to go into spectral, in general, if general solution 1 is going into spectral, general solution 2 is being a vandal and knocking stuff over. There we go.
My brother, Dumah, a powerful warrior in life. It would have burned with shame to have me find him here like a stuck pig.
Okay. These statues, I wonder, because it looked like they had updated the texture for the statue outside in the puzzle out there. I wonder why that didn't make it over here. Doesn't ruin anything for me, I'm just curious. Okay, so if you want another bonus trophy, and some bonus dialogue, you know, we could start pulling these stakes out of Dumah. Or we could go into the spectral realm and see what we can see. Hey.
Come to save my soul, prodigal brother.
Not to save it, but to take it. Your only salvation is release.
And that will give you... Whoa. Alright, yeah. He is very hostile to you in the spectral realm, by the way. And you do not want to let him get close to you. Also, Dumah is double duty for Simon Templeman, which you'll totally hear as we get more into this scene. Now, this is another good opportunity to get the You Are Persistent Raziel trophy. In fact, like, that's who gives you the dialogue. But when I tried to get the trophy here, it didn't pop. So I recommend doing that at Zephon, like we talked about earlier. For now, let's unstake him so that we can kill him all over again.
Unbound at last. I thank you, brother.
Your thanks are premature, Dumah. I have not forgotten whose hands bore me into the abyss.
The sentries in Limbo have honed my strength. Not even Kain is my equal.
Which is funny given
Even
who the voice actor is.
strongest vampire is vulnerable.
We shall test your thesis, Raziel.
My bloodthirst has been superseded by an even darker hunger. I will consume your soul before this day is done.
Still one of my favorite. Still one of my favorite scenes. Not amused. Okay, so we do not really want Dumah to be able to get around us because he has an ability. This ability. That is Constrict. And also he's a Vampire Wraith. And this, again, is proof that, at least proof for the series, that vampires in Limbo, in Torpor, who've been staked or drowned or whatever, as a rule, tend to get stronger. Now, Blood Omen 2, of course, infuriatingly does not do this, but Dumah, incredibly strong after, having been in Torpor for centuries. Raziel, godlike, incredible power, and and then of course just your average vampire wraith that we come across. They become more powerful after centuries of sleep. So, not the least of my problems with Blood Omen 2, but yeah, you may wonder what we're doing. I'm just sitting here talking while Dumah is just chasing me around, but we've got a plan. We just need to remember where to take him. And we just kind of need to keep kiting him. This earthquake stomp he does is pretty annoying, but it's easily avoidable if you know the timing. But you kind of need to keep an eye on him for. Alright. Come on, follow me into the smoke machine. Where is he? There he is. Your fault for having this in your house, dude. Like, I understand the utility of it, but it is an awful risk. A blast furnace in a vampire's stronghold is not without its dangers.
Consuming Dumah's soul empowers you to wind a constricting band of spectral energy around your enemies. This energy manifests itself in both the spectral and material realms, and in the physical world, it can be employed to manipulate otherwise immovable objects.
Alright, cool. Alright, one, it's kind of a weird ability, but now we can do a lot of things. So I don't think we can do anything with this guy here necessarily. Nope. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So, now that we have that, there are 3 separate locations now we can go to get some extra pickups. So first is going to be right here in the ruined city. We're just going to go right back down to where we saw Dumah earlier, and that statue in the courtyard. So yeah, Dumah and Tyrell were Raziel's next two closest brothers, and of course were the ones who hauled him into the abyss. And they were also the most powerful, aside from Raziel. They were the most powerful and influential of the vampire clan leaders. Which makes sense that they would go to war with each other as soon as Kain was gone and as soon as the Razielim had been exterminated. And now... But Constrict is interesting as an ability. One, because we only ever see it in Soul Reaver 1. We don't see it again in Soul Reaver 2. But 2, it is also... Get in the fire, there you go. It seems that Dumah developed this ability himself in the Years of Limbo, and now we have it, of course. So yeah, it's interesting because of our traversal abilities, we have a couple that are evolved abilities, right? We have swimming, we have climbing from the Rahabim and the Zaphanim. Excuse me. And then the telekinesis that we picked up from the Tomb Guardian. So this area is interesting. This is so just from context, these are Tyrellum that were staked and left here and now have been managing to survive somehow. And again, they've become much more powerful. Oof, okay. I don't lose a lot of fights here. But hey, here's a health pickup. Alright, we're gonna come back. We're gonna finish this fight. Boy, have I got something for you two. Yeah, come on over. I'm sorry, Glyph Magic. Perhaps I treated you too harshly. Alright, so anyway, back to my random musing about abilities. So we have our three abilities that are evolved abilities, which are telekinesis, which is not exclusive to the Tyrellum, as the Rahabim have it as well. And then we have climbing and swimming. But then we also have, it looks what I would call our acquired abilities, which would be phasing that we got from Melchiah. And then we got our constrict, which we got from Dumah. So it's interesting to kind of see how, you know, the genesis of the abilities, how they come about, and whether they're acquired or evolved. Nope, no. Nice. 1-2. Oh, nice, and a very convenient Eldritch Energy upgrade here. So yeah, that is a big part in the ruined city that that we have that we can. Yeah, lots of stuff to find there. Let's see, is there anything else that we need to get here? Nope, that is it. Okay, well, let's fast travel. Which, of course, is save and quit. Okay. So now we've got a couple places to go. We are going to go visit the Drowned Abbey, and we're going to go to Raziel's stronghold after that. So let's... A couple places there that haven't been there yet. Here's the Drowned Abbey. Okay, so there's a couple of things we want to check out here. There is, of course, the place where I know we're going, but we want to do a little bit of exploring now that we can swim and that we're back here. So yeah, now that we have all the abilities, I'd love to know what you guys think. What's your favorite ability in Soul Reaver 1? What really kind of made the game open up for you? What made you kind of want to go and explore more once you got it? What was the ability you were the most excited to get? And what's the one that you like getting every time? Some Rahabim just kind of swimming into the floor there. What happened to our music? Ah, there's an Eldritch Energy upgrade. Nice. And we've got some very powerful Rahabim here that I don't really feel like fighting right now. All right. Well, since we don't have music, I will try to fill the silence somehow. So, the Drowned Abbey, again, is a very... I mean, like everything in Soul Reaver, is a really, really... It's a cool level. I love, you know, I love the aesthetic of it. I love the music when it's there. All right. And we'll just head back up here. And then we will go visit the Abbey proper. But yeah, nice thoughtful detail. You can see that the windows are still all broken out in the main Abbey chamber there, which is really fun. I love internally consistent details in game worlds. I really do. How convenient. Still one of my favorite things there. I'll just bully this guy. Okay, and now this guy, you can see we have constrict marks. That drains water out of the chamber here. Let's see what's in here. Aha! Another health upgrade and a vampire that thinks that we can't see him. Obviously, he's mistaken. Nice. Okay, let's check our map. Cool, got everything in the Drowned Abbey. Now it's on to... Raziel's Stronghold. Of course, we'll save. And quit. And, yeah, we might quit again. There we go. See if we get our music back. There we go. Yeah, okay, I've got all that stuff. Okay. The Razielim here. Okay, so we got our health upgrade that was out here earlier, but there is another path that's open to us now that we can use the constrict ability. Let's get our Fire Reaver because that's the best. Yeah, I think in a remake or a sequel, that ability should get a little balancing. As much as I love it, and I do. It is kind of horrifying to think about, you know, these vampires that could sit burned up or in water or impaled for centuries and have their souls just kind of be stuck. Oh. Just for that, we're going to do this old school. Alright, now we're gonna go to the top of this tower here. Fight this guy wherever he's hiding. Okay, so there are three more drawbridges that we can activate. And we're going to explore all three. Thank you. And there is a health upgrade. There's only one left. All right, next one. Ah, nope. He saw us. Not like it mattered in the end. Okay, we got our last Eldritch Energy upgrade up there. And another block puzzle. That's alright. We've done worse. And we get to listen to this awesome variation on Ozar Midrashim / Raziel's theme here. So, one thing that I do think everybody should know is that in earlier versions of the remaster, I don't know if it's been fixed. It may have been, it may not have been, I don't know for sure. The trophy Great Old One for maxing out your Eldritch Energy had a bug. And if you got your last Eldritch Energy upgrade while collecting a glyph, you would not get the trophy. So you need to make sure that your last Eldritch Energy upgrade is from one of these upgrades and not the glyph. Okay, so we have 3 blocks here. We got a tall tower there. So what we'll do is we're just gonna make ourselves a nice little tall tower. Yeah, see, we got the music. That's good, and it's a good thing that we're not having to. It's a good thing that we're not having to do this in silence. But that's okay. This is not easily not the worst of the block puzzles in the game. And by worst, I mostly mean most tedious. There we go. And there we go. Okay, that should get you the Great Old One trophy. All right. Now we've got one more path to explore. Just another, there we go. Okay. Well, let's fast travel. Okay, we've got one more health pickup to get, so we're gonna run and do that just really quick. And that is in an area that we just haven't had occasion to return to yet. So we're gonna skip the warp gate. Because, uh-oh. Switch controllers really quick. Yeah, we just haven't had a reason to come back this way in a while. Been using those save quit fast travels. Yep, right there. Just haven't had a reason to come back here. There we go. Our health and our Eldritch Energy are maxed out. Now, let's save and quit again. Before we wrap up for today, we're gonna go do something special for me. No, it's not my birthday. Not yet. But we are going to go to the Sanctuary of the Clans and listen to Ariel's last hint. And for me, that should be my platinum. So as long as we've done everything right, that should be my platinum. All right. And of course, because, you know, it's Sanctuary of the Clans and it's aerial, we don't need to be in the material realm. Go around to the right here. Okay, let's hope I've done everything right. Yes!
In the bowels of an inverted clockwork, the tormentor.
And that's my platinum for one of my very favorite
Be wary,
games.
Raziel. Those blind with rage are by destiny ensnared.
And that right there could be a tagline for the entire series. All right, awesome. I'm glad that you guys were here when I got my platinum for Soul Reaver 1. I'll probably go through on PS4 and get another one. And we'll talk about the peculiarities of the Soul Reaver 2 trophies later on. Anyway, thanks for watching. Next time, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to finish Soul Reaver 1. We'll get to enjoy some of the very best dialogue in any game to date. I'm so excited. Thank you for watching, and if you like what you see and you want to see more, do the things.
Wow.